house and they were little boot shooting at
us. Yeah. Hey, it's real as it get.
Do that.
This is real as it get. We live, so we live on Facebook now. We still got about 2 minutes before the show starts. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna share the video to your page and tag you in it, so it'll be right there. And so we live now. Let me go ahead. So I tagged you in it, so it should be on your page as well.
I just added it to my page.
Okay. So yeah, and I'd like to welcome all our Facebook Live viewers. I thank y'all for tuning in. This is going to be a very informative show. We have about a minute before the radio show starts. So I'm gonna go ahead and switch the microphone to the radio show. So y'all won't be able to hear me until the show starts.
WBISLP 1069, Winterville, Ayden, Grifton, Southside, Greenville, North Carolina. I try to be a better man, just don't understand. Try to do all I can to deal with this addiction in me. Lord, I don't want to change. I can't stay the same. With the sins that in my vein, it's trying its best just to kill me.
Yes, good evening. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome once again to another episode of the UTurn Show here on Awesome Radio 106.9 FM here in Greenville, Ayden, Winterville, and the surrounding areas. Once again, I'm your host, Richard Taylor. And be sure once again to go to our website, www.wbislpawesomeradio.org, to download all of our apps on Google Play, Apple, and Alexa. Also, be sure to check out this show and all of our shows on Roku TV, right? And also remember, it is an interactive show. So we do allow call-ins and comments via our social media page, 252-756-2008. And I once again thank all of our regular listening viewers and also all of our faithful social media viewers. This is going to be an awesome show, man. I got my brother who's a little bit older than me, but I still say I grew up watching him and in his footsteps. I assume Mr. Joe Mo Jones. How you doing?
Hey, man, doing blessed, man. Doing great, brother. Glad to be here tonight.
All right, thank you for having me, man. I know he did. Now, this man, he's so busy. He's so awesome, man. He's a real estate investing, property management, financial advisor, author, family man. Man, he does so much. So I'm grateful for you to be able to take out, so much time of your busy schedule. I know we tried to do it before, but once again, things got a little bit hectic for you. So, and I mentioned all of those titles. We're just going to get right down to it. You're from my hometown of Goldsboro, North Carolina, so I know a little bit about you, and maybe some of our viewers do as well. But for our radio listening audience, it hasn't always been like this. So a part of my show is the UTurn Show. So we kind of go back in time a lot of times to catalog a person's journey from where they at now. So just go ahead and give the little people a little bit about your past and how you came to this point.
Hey, like you said, I'm from right here in Goldsboro. You know, most of our Facebook viewers, they're basically, they know me. They're from Goldsboro as well, and they've seen the steps that I've taken and the journey that I've been on. You know, I grew up in a single parent home. I had great, support. You know, I had great uncles and aunts, and I had an awesome grandmother who also helped my mother raise me. But I made bad decisions, at the tender age of 15 years old, I started selling drugs. You know, I started hustling, selling weed, and I started selling crack. And then I was selling, and progressed and found myself getting in trouble, found myself getting put on probation, and then found myself violating that probation. And that a lot of people didn't know this because my senior year in high school, I gave my life to Christ. But a lot of people didn't know that once I graduated from high school, that I went basically straight to prison. And because of my probation officer wanted to me at least graduate from high school first before she gave me my time. So I violated, my probation. And so went away. During that time, it was a little different. You get 2 years, you did about 6 months.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. So, I went away for about 6 months on a 2-year prison sentence. And I just told myself that I never want to come back here again. I told myself, I said, I would never want to come back to this place again, even though I did have some brushes where I was in and out of jail for petty stuff, after I went back, after I left Christ, basically, went back out in the world and started doing the same things, fighting in clubs and wilding out, finding myself getting DUIs and getting locked up and stuff like that. So, it's been a journey, but by the grace of God, I'm here, man. And hopefully what I'm going with my journey can help somebody else come along. That's what it's all about.
And you mentioned something in high school that you said you got saved, but that was kind of new because I think it was 3 of y'all. I remember vividly. It was you, Marcel White, and Jerome Caesar. Three of the smoothest guys that I know, and all of y'all kind of gave your life to Christ at the same time, and it was sort of influential because at that age, people are not thinking about doing the right thing. Like
that's right.
A lot of people are.
It was man, I'm gonna tell you, that was an amazing thing. Because it was during that time I was making plans. Basically, matter of fact, the night I gave my life to Christ, I was bagging up weed.
Uh-huh.
I had a pound of weed sitting on the table, and I was bagging it up. And I was telling my partner Marcel about how much money we were gonna make our senior year of high school.
Uh-huh.
I had a new connect.
Okay.
And so, the Spirit of God came on us right outside in his mama's backyard, and we both got on our knees with nobody around and gave our life to Christ. And that's when that journey began. So It really was blessed. And I remember going on the Glenn Burden show. I remember a long time ago, he used to call us the God Squad.
Yeah.
And we were tight, and during that time, it was a different space because a lot of people that were in our age bracket, they weren't thinking about serving the Lord. They weren't thinking about none of that mess we was talking about. But I look at the fruit of that and look at how many people that I graduated from high school with that are now pastors, that are saved and they're walking with the Lord and they're blessed. And I think some of those seeds that we planted along the way caused that great harvest of the people that we came in contact with.
Mm-hmm. And so you mentioned after high school, going to prison, getting out, kind of get back into the world. And so what was the motivation for changing? Like for starting, I think most people probably remember you with the car wash, with the car wash and I remember with the car wash on Royal Street where you was, just had a building. I don't think there was no cars being washed, but
no.
What kept you going, and what was the motivation for you to say, okay, I don't want to go back to prison? Things are not going right. So where was the drive that came from, to motivate you to, get on the grind like you are now?
Well, I'm gonna tell you what happened. This is the motivational that made me decide I want to be an entrepreneur. I never forget my second day home from prison. I went to go on a job interview, and the lady told me to do, she was going to hire me in a factory, and she told me to do some little hand exercise. And she was like, "You're great with your hands." I was like, "Yeah, I was a bricklayer in high school." And so the lady said, "You know what? You're hired." And she hired me. It's my second day out of prison. I was so excited. She said, "You can have a seat out in the lobby, and I'm gonna have you fill out some more paperwork." But on the application, it asked me had I ever been convicted of a felony, and I put yes. In my mind, 18 years old, I'm thinking I've already did my time, so ain't no need of me to lie on the application. So the lady came, she called me back in her office and she said, I'm sorry, Mr. Jones, but we're not hiring felons. And so I'm sorry, I got to fire you now. So I got hired and fired in the same day. And so job after job that I went to during that time, the laws were really harsh. If you was a convicted felon, you could forget it. Especially if you was a convicted felon with cocaine trafficking, drug trafficking, and those type of charges, you could forget it. So I had door after door shut in my face. And at one point in time, I was like, you know what? I might as well go back to the streets because I can't get a job, I can't make a living, and these people not giving me an opportunities. But so by the grace of God, man, I had great people in my corner that encouraged me to keep pushing, keep going. And so instead of going back into crime, which was a cop out, I began to use my gifts and my talents. And one of my talents was detailing cars, and also sales, because I had great communication skills. And so I was in cellular phone sales. So I went from cellular phone sales to the car wash industry. I left my full-time job with benefits and everything to start up a car wash. All I had was a bucket and a dream, you know, and that's how that journey began.
And so how did it, like I said, how did it, because I know you struggled in the beginning with the smaller car wash on Royal, and then you moved up to one of the biggest, intersections in the city. I think it was on Ash and Spence. If
absolutely. Prime real estate.
So how was the transition, from going to, the little small building, and, how did you build it up?
Here's the deal. I moved to a bigger building, but I had a small building mentality. That's why I didn't last. Number one. Okay. Number two, what kept me going was passion. I got a saying in my book, passion precedes action. You got to be passionate about what you do. So I was very passionate about detailing the smile that people had on their face when I cleaned their car. And what happened was, when no customers was around, I still was passionate about it. So what I did is I built that business customer by customer by customer, and got a rapport with the customers. So that's how my clientele got built. So I had an opportunity to move to one of the busiest intersections in the city of Goldsboro. I had about 27 people on my staff. I was booming. But what it was, I wasn't structured properly as a business owner. I had a small business mentality. I had poor personal credit. I didn't know anything about the financials. And what it was, I ran my business, but I ran it in the ground.
Okay.
Just keeping the 100 with you.
And it's funny you say that, because now from the outside in, I think I was staying in Virginia, but when I heard about it, I was like, wow, he's doing good. But the perception of things are not always what they seem if you're not doing things right. As far
I had the clientele, I had the customers, I was making money, but I was misappropriating my money. I didn't know anything. I didn't budget properly. I didn't spend properly. I didn't have the right financial literacy. I was financially illiterate, but even though I was an entrepreneur. So from the outside, cars were lined up. Before we can open up, we had 20 or 30 cars in line. I would make $1,500 on Monday, $1,300 on Tuesday, $2,100 on Wednesday, making all this money. But if you don't have the right literacy or the knowledge of how to run your business, no matter, you can still have a big building, but a small building mentality. So from the outside, it was looking good because people saw the business, but from the inside, I was bleeding. And that's why I'm passionate about what I do now, because there are a lot of small business owners. They look good on the outside, but if you dig into their financials, if you dig into their taxes, if you dig into their goals and what they're trying to do, they're bleeding from the inside.
Okay. So is that what you mean? Like, so the business went under.
It went under. And basically,
the
man told me, the man said, can you buy the building? I said, no. How much you want for it? He said, I'll sell it to you for $350,000. I said, no, sir. He said, well, I want you to get out of here in 30 days. And what happened was, that building, a developer who's now my friend.
Okay.
A developer got that building and turned it into a bank. And what happened was, they had that's when I moved out of that location. And me, being passionate,
well, wait a minute.
Hold up, you can't stop me. I'm gonna find me another location.
So wait a minute. Just so if you would have been financially sound or knew what you knew now, would you have bought that building if you could afford it?
If I knew what I knew now, I have 6 locations.
Okay. I
would have 6 locations because I got a saying: information will change your situation. Now, knowledge to me, people say knowledge is power. Knowledge is potential power. Knowledge is only powerful when it's applied.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so now that I know what I know and that I'm applying these principles in my own personal life, I would definitely be in a different space. And even if I went in there with a 6-month plan with the information that I have now, I could have acquired that building. But
Okay.
because I didn't know, somebody came in, swooped it up from me, and I was back to square one.
And you said you got another location?
Got another location.
Okay.
I got another location. Got a little holding cell. It's a little holding spot.
Okay.
I could only do one car at a time. I cut back
wow.
on all that staff that I had. I worked by myself. I had my uncle helping me. He was helping me with my appointments, and he was the reception.
Okay.
And so I stayed there in that location and built myself back up a little bit. And then that's when I moved to the location on Berkeley Boulevard, which was prime real estate. And I was able to get that clientele back again and begin to have all those cars coming and making all that money. But still, I had the same mentality.
Okay.
Yeah.
So at what point did you say, okay, the car business is, I mean, I guess it's lucrative, but you know, like you said, everything happened for a reason. So God evidently put you in those positions. So what point did you start to get into where you at now?
I was destined to get into this by the grace of God. And what I mean by that is my car wash was going under. I was struggling, you know, and I had a big heart. I would hire anybody.
Okay.
Even if I couldn't hardly pay them, I would hire them because I didn't want to see anybody struggle. And I seen guys come out of jail and prison who didn't have opportunities, and I just wanted to hire everybody. And then at the end of the day, I looked like the bad guy because I didn't have the money to give them the hours, and so they could, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, yeah.
So, October 2016 was when I was at this car wash. No, 17, and it had rained. 2017, it rained for 28 days that month. And I was broke. My wife was stressed out. I physically began to get sick, and I was stressed out. And a guy walked in my building that day and said, "Man, how would you like it if while it was raining, you can pack your bags and go down to Miami and begin to plan what you're going to do when the sun comes out?" And man, that caught my attention. And he said, "Man, you know, the Lord sent me by here to talk to you." And that I met one man, and that's why I tell people, you can be one relationship away from your destiny. One person changed my entire life. By meeting one person. And that gentleman began to teach me financial literacy. He began to teach me the power of personal credit, the power of business credit, the power of acquisitions. You know, what do banks require you for get funding? How to walk in the bank and go get $500,000. How to walk in the bank and get $250,000 home, $300, $400,000, $500,000 home. What the underwriting guidelines are, what underwriting teams look for. When you go try to get a loan, what do they want to see? He taught me all this powerful information, and I began to take some financial classes and everything like that. And that one guy that I met introduced me to another guy, and he changed my life. So it was a series of relationships and getting the right information and getting in contact with the right people that changed my life forever.
Okay. And so you first started off, and I'm proud to admit, or unashamed to admit that I'm a client. You know, I've made some bad credit decisions.
We all have.
Helped me get on track. So was that you first started off in credit repair? Am I right, or was it taxes?
Yeah, I first started off as a sales associate. Basically, what he did, he told me to go out and get people, and he paid me for every single person that I bought in. So first of all, I went out and got family members and friends, and they got in his program, and you know, he got results. You know, credit is a case by case. You know, you can never please 100% of the people, but you know, we got results. And then I began to move into business credit, and I seen the power of business credit. Now it was mind-boggling to me because 95% of the businesses that I came in contact with didn't understand business credit, or they was illiterate when it came to business credit. And so I began to get these relationships with businesses all over the United States of America. Atlanta, Georgia being one of my most, a lot of my high power clients came from. People that work for CNN, that were in media, they were my clients. I've had all types of clients, entertainers, people that's in films, people that have their own. So I began to get clients in the business credit arena. And then once I got into the business credit, Then I got into showing small business owners how to get funding, step by step, how to get funding, how to get lines of credit, corporate credit cards with big limits, how to structure your business properly, and things of that nature. So it was kind of like the trickle down effect, because one thing leads to another. Because I tell everybody that credit is a bridge to wealth. Credit is just a tool to get you to wealth, and credit is a tool for you to make it in this world when it comes to the financials.
Okay. So now is that your focus more of helping businesses learn how to, create that wealth for their business, or more on the personal side?
It's really a combination of all of it.
Okay.
Because I still deal with the personal credit, and then I still deal with the business owners, and then I still deal with people, business. Let me tell you, business owners always need money.
Mm-hmm.
And I teach OPM, other people's money. I teach
Okay.
SEM, somebody else's money. So I show business owners how to use somebody else's money to leverage. I ask them this question: do you need a leg? And they look at me crazy. Do I need a leg? Do you need the ability to leverage, expand, and grow? And so what I do by getting them capital and to grow, it gives them the ability to leverage, expand, and grow their business. Because that's the problem, especially in Goldsboro. Being honest, most, especially minority business owners, they don't understand how to get to the money. And they have a hard time getting capital to grow their business. So I've been blessed to help several business owners here in the city of Goldsboro, and like I said, abroad, get to that place where they can expand, where they can grow using somebody else's money.
Mm-hmm. And we're going to pause right here for our station identification. Once again, all of our radio listeners, you are listening to Awesome Radio 106.9 FM here in Greenville, Aden, Grifton, Winterville. Make sure you go to the website www.wbisawesomeradio.org. Download all of our apps, and also visit us on Roku TV. We have our special guest, Mr. Jomo Jones. Just a couple of comments. Passion Grantham. Hey, Passion, how you doing? That was my guest last week. I think that's your auntie Patila.
What's up, Aunt Patula?
Jones. Hello. Thank y'all. Thank y'all for tuning in. Our guest Felicia Mitchell.
What's up?
Too fun. I think that's her. Definitely my father. Right. Remember that creator.
You doing, Prophet?
Taylor. I use Miss Sharice Boyd Jackson. Blessings to the guests. To God be all the glory.
How you doing?
Yes, you guys were amazing and still making an impact. I think she was talking about you and Marcel. Dr. Perkins, hey, how y'all doing? Thank you for tuning in. Terica Rhodes, one relationship away from destiny is correct. Rico McDowell, good evening, sir. How you doing? Thank you.
Mr. McDowell, my guy. That's my guy.
My mother, other people's money.
And listen, back to Mr. McDowell.
Okay.
If you want to know something about cryptocurrency, if you want to understand cryptocurrency, y'all need to get in contact with him. He can teach you some stuff.
Oh yes, definitely. And so so speaking of that, because there's a lot of noise about the cryptocurrency. How does that relate to people who are trying to build wealth?
Well, I tell people it's all about building a financial portfolio. Okay. Now, and what I mean by building your financial portfolio could be real estate. You can build a financial portfolio through cryptocurrency, because cryptocurrency has made a lot of millionaires in a short period of time. But it's understanding what coin, how to invest in cryptocurrency, how to leverage cryptocurrency. Do I want to go with Bitcoin? Do I want to go with Ethereum? Do I want to go with Litecoin? And then that's why it's so important for us to surround ourselves with people that are smarter than us.
Okay.
Because they can get us to the next level. Like the word says, in the multitude of in castle, there's safety. So yes, it's always great to have people around us that know more than we do, so they can get us to the next level. And cryptocurrency is definitely a vehicle. I put it like this: it's an avenue for revenue. It's definitely a vehicle that you can use to build wealth, and also generational wealth for your family.
Okay, and let's talk about that, because like I said, you mentioned small businesses. You talk about you talked about personal credit. What are some of the misconceptions, or what are some of the jewels that you can give people who who didn't have that knowledge coming up. I know the first time we talked, I think it was the last year, you talked about, you not knowing about credit as a child, or, you thinking it's some complex system. What do you advise people to do when they start this journey on, getting their credit right, building a business?
I advise people to hit the ground teaching their kids early. My 7-year-old, my 4-year-old, and my 15-year-old. My daughter can tell you about all three. My 15-year-old can tell you about all three credit bureaus. She can tell you about what credit scores, that your credit scores and things of that nature. What it starts at, what's the highest credit score, and also, like I'm teaching my daughter, I put her on my credit cards. You can put your kids on the credit cards as an authorized user at the age of 12 years old, 13 years old, and leave them on the card as long as you don't have any 30-day lates, as long as you pay the card on time, as long as your utilization remains low. That child can graduate from high school with a 750 credit score.
See, now many people now catch that now, because that's a jewel that we can set our children up for, because the stereotype is, especially in the minority or the Black community, that, okay, well, yeah, we ruin our kids' credit before they get on by putting phones in their name, by putting lights or cable in their name, which I've never actually seen done, but I've heard about it. Yeah, my mom messed up. So you can actually build your child's credit by being responsible and put them in a better position to succeed just by putting their name on a card and doing right.
Yes.
By yourself. And actually, and it's funny because I know that I just saw, I think you put your daughter in a business deal that you did. I seen her signing some papers on the deed.
Yes. You see, what I'm doing now is my daughter is on all my LLCs as a member, because she's on all she's going to be on all my on every property that I sell. And what we're doing, we're building generational wealth. We're teaching her early. And so if something was to happen to me and my wife, our money would be in an estate. We're teaching about it. That's something that we need to look into too, having an estate for your kids, where that wealth can go on from generation to generation to generation. So, the old saying, if you knew better, you do better. Growing up, some of our parents didn't know any better. But now that we have the information, we can do better. So it's about hitting the ground early and diversifying and showing them how to save, showing them the importance of credit, showing them the importance of understanding the financial arena, and putting them in a position where they don't have to go through the things that we went through. That's number one. Yeah.
And I see, like I say, you real estate investing. People once again think that it takes a lot of money to buy and what they call them, refurbish or rehab houses.
I ain't trying to cut you off.
Go ahead. Let's go.
You don't have to have no money to start real estate. My wife does a class the last Friday of every month. It's called wholesaling, where she can show you how you don't need a dime to close your first real estate deal. And so I tell people that it's all about getting the right information, to get into real estate investing. You can start out as a wholesaler. Then you can move from wholesaling into flipping, and then from flipping into new construction. So you don't even need money to get started in real estate investing.
Okay. And that's something I've been seeing a lot. I met a young brother out of I think he's out of Greenville, but he was telling me about the same time, and I see his work. So and once sometimes when you keep saying stuff, we move our feet slow.
Right.
But now I definitely need to contact him, because I ran into him for a reason. I'm seeing the moves he making, and I'm thinking, I'm not saying I can't do that, but then you just say, okay, well, what is it going to take? How much time is it going to take? Is it going to be worth my time? But
I know guys that are making $40,000 and $50,000 a month off wholesaling, and they don't even own the property that they're selling.
Yeah,
that's
I know.
Why it's so powerful.
Yeah, that's what I saw that. Like, okay, well, in matter of fact, I'm gonna keep that to myself. I'm gonna just go talk with my guy. But and that's another thing though. So you mentioned something about, and we'll kind of talk about this. You mentioned something about the kingdom, being a man of God, and and I always tell people that, sometimes the way we grew up, we compared being poor, to being righteous. You
Right.
know what I'm saying? Like
I know.
we've
Yeah.
in that mindset that, okay, well, no, we don't. Money is the root of all evil, or we don't want to be too rich.
Right. Right.
So what is the
Well,
misconception
that's
with
what
that?
people. Yeah, they get it wrong. The love of money. That they say money is the root of all evil. No, it's not. The love of money.
Mm-hmm.
Money is a poor master, but a rich servant.
Okay, I
Money
like
is just a tool. That's all it is. And what we have to do is just like any other tool. We don't eat spaghetti with a spoon. We eat spaghetti with a fork.
that. Mm-hmm.
And what we have to do is just know how to properly use money. Um, money, money is made to grow, but you have to know how to grow it. Money is made through relationships, but you have to know how to maintain relationships in order to make money. So, I think that now, people are recognizing that, yeah, you want to pay your tithes and give your offering. You want to give to the kingdom. You want to give to the work of the Lord. But it's nothing wrong with being prosperous. It's nothing wrong with being blessed. The Bible says God wants us to be the lender and not the borrower.
Mm-hmm.
Well, how many people got money? So I ain't lending nobody nothing. And they just as safe as they can be. But let me take it right now. I ain't lending nobody nothing. But the word of God said God wants us to be the lender and not the borrower.
Okay.
So God wants us to be ahead, above and not beneath, the head and not the tail. Matter of fact, it's a scripture to say that the blessings of the Lord shall overtake thee. That word
Okay.
in the Hebrew means to run you down and take you over. So now that we understand that money is a poor master and a rich servant, and that we don't fall in love with money or we don't fall in love with things, and that we know that we're just a steward. First of all, they only belong to me. The Bible said the earth is the Lord and the fullness thereof. I'm just a manager. I'm just a steward. And based upon how I handle what I got in the small, I will determine what I'll get in the big, how I handle it in the big. So I think people are now understanding it more and more. They're understanding the narrative, and they're understanding that, hey, listen, the more money we can make, the more we can advance the kingdom. The more we can give into evangelism, the more we can give into feeding the hungry. Me and my wife, we partner with about 4 different ministries. As far as giving, we don't just give to our home church. We give to other ministries that are doing the work of the Lord. So being in a place where you're financially stable or financially blessed, you can help the kingdom. You can do more. You can help more people. You can't help everybody. You got to have discernment and know when to roll and know when to fold. You learn that too.
So, and you mentioned you mentioned your wife several times. Now, how important, because you guys work together in all of this, right? So,
Yeah,
how important it is to be on the same page and have that person who understands, I guess, the vision and is willing to, help progress the vision. How is that? How does that work out for y'all?
it's amazing, man. That's all I can say. I can't even really explain it. Um, my wife, when I first met her, I was an entrepreneur. She told me, she said, "Let me tell you something. I ain't gonna never have my own business. I gotta know my check coming in."
Mm, mm, mm.
So she did not believe in entrepreneurship when I first met her.
Okay.
But as time went on, she saw the power of entrepreneurship. See, the reason why we become business owners or be into entrepreneurship is to have a certain quality of life. And that's why I feel sorry, man. I have a passion for business owners who are struggling, who are stressed, who are worried. You don't go into business to be worried and to be stressed. You go into it for a quality of life, so you have a flexibility of life. You want to spend more time with your family. But what happened was, as time went on, man, it's like a fire, man. She caught fire. And now she's more progressive than I am. She's coming up with more ideas than I do. Man, it's just amazing. And we work together every single day. We in the same office, right side by side.
Yeah.
We ain't had a fight in there. We ain't nobody threw no blows or nothing like that.
That's what I'm about to say. That how did that work
And
out?
we get along good.
Yeah.
But it's grace, man. It's really the grace of God. I tell everybody this. If you can explain everything that happens in your life that's great step by step, God ain't in it. But when you can sit back and you say, I can't even explain to you because it's so good, that's when you know his hand is in it. So I'm just very blessed to be able to do that, because a lot of husbands and wives can't work together.
Mm-hmm. So like I said, like we were talking about earlier, in your years, did you ever imagine, to be at this point right here? Like we were talking about a couple of instances that we I think it was in the early 1999 or the 2000s when we was just running around.
2000, right before I moved to Charlotte.
Yeah, we was in the situation.
When they were shooting at us.
Yeah. Yeah.
This man was together, and we had to handle some business, and we left. And but Ricky really handled that business.
Yeah, but yeah.
But
and we
man,
still
shooting. We could hear the bullets. We could hear the bullets going by our head.
Yeah. But and me, the guys, is still friend to this day. But that's once again those youthful indiscretions that could lead to death or a long prison sentence, which we've witnessed a lot of our peers experience. But during that time, did you ever experience, did you ever see yourself in this position that you are in now?
Well, I always believe, and everybody should believe this, I always believe that one day I will be able, I had a certain thing in my head that I wanted to do all my life. I wanted to do real estate. I wanted to help people, because it's all about helping people. We understand that, business is only that you're just fulfilling a need. That's all business is. You're fulfilling the need that something that people need. And people get paid off other people's ignorance. I hate to say that, but it's the truth. But I've always believed that one day I was gonna, do something great or do some great things in life, but I just didn't know exactly what they were. And there was some times in my life where I was so low where I felt like it was over several times. But you got praying family, man. And I always had to surround myself with good people that can always motivate me and encourage me, and to keep my, to do the things that I need to do. That's why I tell people it's so important that you surround yourself with the right people and have the right people in your corner, because you can't get to your destiny by yourself. People say, I don't need nobody. The devil don't fool you, because you need somebody. Everybody needs somebody. And you can't, and any success that you see anybody have, they didn't get there by themselves. They got there on the back of other people. Whether it was through the other person's ignorance or what, and they learned from it and they told you about it, or the bad experience that they had and they told you, so you don't have to have that bad experience. So that's the things, man. And look, we always striving to do even greater things. We're striving to do even bigger things. So, hey, man, the best is yet to come. God's
definitely. Once again, we're going to pause for our station identification. This is 106.9 FM Awesome Radio here in Greenville. Make sure you visit the website, www.wbis.awesomeradio.org, and also download our apps. You can visit us also on Roku TV at Awesome Radio. A couple of comments. Terica Road said, "Woo, you said it." Keisha Packer Alabama says, "I love this show. I guess you can't get nowhere by yourself." I think Mr. McDowell, he stayed dropping those jewels. Say
my man
will introduce real estate to the blockchain.
One of Goldsboro best kept secrets right there. Y'all, people can learn a lot from that brother. He knows a lot, man.
Definitely. Poor money is a poor master and a rich servant. Lend the knowledge of cryptocurrency so everyone can be the lender. Yes, sir. Money answereth all things. And once again, Mr. Satin, I keep saying that name, Saitama. I think so. That's how you say it. So say, look, he's on that Saitama. So if anybody has, that knowledge and that know-how, definitely better listen to Mr. McDowell, Christy McMillan. Too many comments to go to, but I'm gonna go back to something. I normally ask these at this question at the first of the show, but you mentioned it, so I didn't really go into it. But you mentioned, you grew up in a single parent home, and that means, I guess, your father was not in the picture. And so in hindsight, or even back then, do you see that effect? Did you see that affected you in any way, shape, or form? And now I know that you are a father, and I know that you are right there with your children. So did you use that as motivation as to not, you know, to not do as your father did? Well,
That's definitely my motivation. You know, I've talked to guys and they said, well, you know, I don't know how to be a dad because I didn't have a dad. To me, not having a dad made me want to be a great dad.
okay.
And so I think it's very important that our young men have their fathers around to instill principles into them, and you know, to tell them, you know, about life, the real things about life, the hard knock life, you know, about achieving their goals, about, you know, the sky is the limit, past the limit. You can do anything that you can want to do. You can be anybody who you want to be, and then you show them, you know, the way. You try to lead by example, number one. You know, being the man of the house and showing them, you know, the things that the man of the house do. And then love, man. You know, that's what a lot of young guys, they are the way they are because they didn't get love from their fathers. They
Mhm.
weren't loved by their fathers, and so that's why they're so angry, and that's why they go join gangs because they feel they can identify with those relationships, and it seems like there's a bond there, there's a love there, there's a
Mm.
brotherhood there,
Yep.
and you know, and a lot of those guys are swayed by older guys, so they look at those guys like a father or,
Mm.
you know, big uncle or something like that.
Yes.
So man, it's very important that's very important to me. Mom, you know, man, your kids, my daughter, you know, I had her before my marriage. I've had full custody of my daughter since she was 6 months old.
Okay.
And my mother, in her early parts of her life, up to the age of about 7 years old, my mother helped me, was intricately raising her. Really, I wasn't even, because I was still getting in the wrong headspace.
Mm-hmm.
And so, you know, I've had her. She's 15 years old now, but it
Yeah.
made me grow up real quick, and it also made me stop disrespecting women the way that I did too, by
Okay.
having that daughter in my life.
Oh
And
yeah. Yeah.
so it's very important. It means a lot. It's every family is very important to me. Spending time with my family, spending time with my kids, you know, and you know, showing them, you know, that life is what we make it by the grace of God.
Yeah. So where do you see yourself? What's next?
What's
For
next for us is by, I don't know if y'all have heard of Felicia Kelly.
Felicia
Anybody
Kelly.
heard of Felicia Kelly? If you have not heard of Felicia Kelly, y'all go follow her on Instagram. Y'all go follow her on Facebook. She is a wealth catalyst. She does seminars all over the United States of America. She's helped small business owners expand their businesses, grow their business. My wife and I have the blessed privilege of going on tour with her. And we're going to be in Houston, Texas next weekend. And then we're going to be in Chicago in June. And we're going to be in New York in July. So we're going to be doing a lot of traveling. I'm going to be doing a lot of free credit repair workshop, homeowners workshops. And then also we're going to move into new construction. That's one of our goals. We're going to go from flipping to new construction. We're going to build new apartment complexes. We're going to build new houses, subdivisions. And so we're just growing and getting all, you know, making sure that we got the right people around us, and that we can just be a blessing. You know, we're blessed to be a blessing.
Okay. And so
Yeah.
how did y'all get in contact with Miss Kelly? Because you know, actually Passion Grantham and Felicia Mitchell, actually, you know, I haven't heard of her, so I evidently
Felicia
she
Kelly, man, she's been one of Goldsboro's best kept secrets.
okay.
Now, I'm gonna go ahead and tell you, her programs ain't cheap.
Okay.
Me and my wife, we paid thousands of dollars to be in one of her programs. But what she do, she teach business owners how to grow, how to expand, how to hire the right staff, how to have the right marketing team, how to have the right this, the right that, to grow your business, where your business can stand out and things of that nature. And I think she's going to be, she's still currently in Goldsboro right now, but you know, she's been floating around. But you know, like her, most of the businesses that has been through her program are businesses outside of Goldsboro.
Okay.
And
So why do you
she's
think
helped.
that is? Why do you think, I guess, why do you think that is?
Familiarity. See, you know, some if you talk to me, if somebody hasn't seen me in 20 years, they ain't gonna recognize me. And
Uh-huh.
what I mean by that, I don't talk the same no more. My
Mm,
thought pattern is not the same. The Bible says, "A man think it, so is he." I've
mhm.
changed the way that I think now. I can't, I'm unrecognizable because my conversation is not going to be the same type of conversation that I had 20 years ago. So I think it's familiarity, and Jesus experienced this. The Bible said that Jesus said a prophet is without honor in his own hometown. That's why I always tell people, don't let your hometown hold you down. Expand out of your hometown. If you feel like that don't receive you here, God has a remnant, and God has other people that are willing to receive you outside of Goldsboro. We got clients in California. I never thought I'd be dealing with nobody out in San Francisco, Colorado, New Jersey, New York, Florida, all over the United States of America. Some of these people I've never met personally, but
Yeah,
I've
that's
done
what I was
business
trying
with
to ask
them.
you. Like, so you just
I'm sorry,
doing
I
it.
didn't mean to talk so much, Rick. I'm sorry, man.
Oh, no. No, it just came to me like when you talk about California and evidently you're talking about some valuable deals or valuable transactions and so you're talking about these things, but you're not sitting face to face with the person.
Yeah.
So there has to be some level of trust or some level of validity to what it is you're doing to allow people to trust you.
Well, I think what happens is people have to look at your track record. And the best advertising is word of mouth. I get one guy to live in New Jersey, and I get the phone call that I did some work for in New Jersey, and then somebody called me from Texas and be like, "Hey, you helped my cousin in New Jersey get some funding for his business." So I think it's the track record. Now you're gonna always have people that say negative stuff. That comes with the territory. I've had people come to me and say that we crooked, that we're doing stuff illegal. I've had people call me and say, I heard this about you. And I say, listen, if you can't tell me who said it, keep it to yourself. If you can't, let's bring them together and let's all sit down together and let's talk about this together.
Okay.
So no matter what you do, you're gonna have people that's gonna talk negative about you and say things and say that, he didn't help me out. I went through his credit repair program. Yeah, but you didn't pay your bill. You tell them about that? Did you tell them that? Did you tell them that you didn't bring in your paperwork? Did you tell them that you weren't responsive? So there's some bumps in the road that you go through, man. But you just got to keep on pushing, and you got to help those that are willing to be helped.
Okay. So how do you deal with it? Like when people still, like you said, like people haven't seen you in 20 years and you tell them what you're doing now, and they might look at you kind of sideways or, they come with you with skepticism. How do you deal with that as a person?
Man, it's something about people that, okay, I'll give you an example. There are some people who don't want to, in this space that I'm in, they don't want to see me as this guy here, the real estate investor, the credit repair guy. They want to see me as the car wash guy.
Okay.
And what's happens is you just got this. It's just this thing that people do, and it's kind of sad. But you just have to, man, just stay positive, and you have to recognize what's your space, your place, and your grace. Stay in your lane and do your thing.
There's some stay in your lane and do your thing. I like that. So tell our radio listeners, because we got a few minutes left on the radio broadcast. We're going to keep it live on social media, though. Tell our radio listeners how they can reach you, and also, give them a little bit, some parting words, if you will.
You can reach me at corporatecapitalfs.com. That's our website for our business credit, our funding, and also credit repair. You can reach us on Facebook at Jones Business Credit Services or Jones Tax Services. You can reach me on Instagram at official Jomo Jones on Instagram. And you can reach us at our office at 919-429-6040. We're pretty responsive. We try to respond back as quick as possible. If we can't get us, leave a message. You can inbox me. Now, I'm going to go ahead and tell people I have an assistant that handles my appointments, that handles, me getting in contact with clients. When you try to inbox me through Facebook, I might not even get back with you. So it's best to go through the office, because you wouldn't believe how many people that try to contact me on a day-to-day basis, and it gets overwhelming. So that's why I let everything run through the office. But we're here to help you. We help businesses with their LLCs. We help businesses get structured, their LLCs, their EINs, their Dun & Bradstreet, company logos, company email address. We do a personal credit consultation, a business credit consultation. We help businesses get structured. Now, it's good to be structured, but also we help you get structured for funding. So when you're starting your business and you need to get funding, and things of that nature. If you've been in business for a while and you don't understand how to get funding or understand the process of getting funding for your business, we give you as much information as we can for you to do funding. So that's what we do. And also with our real estate right now, we're doing our real estate one-on-one where we help people get their funding. Anybody who want to flip properties and they want to do their first property, we show them how to get funding. We show them how to get the funding, the 100% financing for the rehab. And then also we show them how to do wholesaling. My wife, she's been very good at that. She has several people in her wholesaling program where she teaches them how to do their first deal, their first 3 deals, and things of that nature. So that's what we're doing with this real estate. Because look, this is a true thing. In 2017, 63% of households could not cover a $500 emergency. In 2021, about 41% of households cannot cover a $1,000 emergency. Now, I've been
So
in
that means
situations
they
where
don't have $1,000 at their
right,
dispute.
41% of families.
Wow.
So, and I've been in situations and doing real estate where things got tight. But I do believe that the information that we're giving out is putting people in a better place. We've seen people who never thought they could become homeowners. Matter of fact, I had a man come in my office with his wife and told me to my face, he don't believe nothing I'm saying. But 6 months later, he was signing the contract and he was a homeowner. So
Wow.
we've seen people that came in, homeowners, people that want a new car. We show them, fix their credit for them to get a new car. People wanted to buy land and think people don't want to store. We've seen the fruit and we've seen the results in the lives of other people. And that's my joy. That's what makes me happy. Seeing the smile on people's faces and seeing people accomplish their goal. We come up with a POA, a plan of action. We work that plan of action to help you get to your goal.
All right. So to our radio listeners, we're going to end the show, but don't go anywhere to our Facebook list because I got a lot of more information that I want to ask Mr. Jones about. But I want to say thank you to all of our radio listeners. Once again, this is Awesome Radio 106.9 FM. Make sure you tune in next week once again at 8 p.m. But I also want to thank our special guest, Mr. Jomo Jones. And you all heard his information. So if there's anything that you guys need, feel free to reach him on his website or at his office, because that's what we are here to do. We're here to give you some valuable information to help people, not just as inspirational, but also financial. So once again, we want to thank Mr. Jones, and we will see you guys next week, same time, same place.
Lord, I need you to smile on me. Lord, I'm pleading. Tell me where you want me to.
Okay, can you hear me?
I can hear you, brother.
Okay, all right. So you mentioned
I had a thought too, man.
Go ahead. Let's go.
I had a thought while you're going. One thing I want to talk about too tonight is budgeting and planning.
Mm-hmm.
And understanding that the dynamics of money. And most people they don't budget and they don't plan. And I think that's a problem. And people, they don't understand it. Have you ever seen somebody who get rich and lose everything and get rich again? Have you ever seen that? Most people that make it, if they lose it all, they know how to get it back.
They can get it back.
They understand the principles. I was having a thought, and my mentor, Dr. William Ellis, my guy, he said if God would take all the money in the whole wide world and put it in one big pile, the same people will end up with it. Okay. Because they understand how money works. They understand how to grow money, and they understand how to leverage it. And that's one of the areas that I see families come up short in is planning, having short-term goals and having long-term goals, and then sticking to your planning. We was taught that by, she's a good friend of ours, Miss Angela and Bobby Hucks. If y'all don't know them, let's go to my friends page on my Facebook and look them up, Angela and Bobby Hucks. They teach you the area of budgeting. They were the first people who taught us how to budget. And let me tell you something. Here's another thing. People don't like accountability. They took over our money for 6 months, and we had to tell them about everything that we were spending.
Mm-hmm.
But what happened was when we came out of their program, we were sharper. When we came out of their program, we understood money more. So that's one thing that we need in our life. We need accountability, somebody that we have to answer to help us till we get to our goals.
Mm-hmm. So you saying you gave a person complete control over your finances?
Man, it was tough. Matter of fact,
Yeah.
I caught an attitude with him a couple of times.
Yeah.
He told me, what's this? He told me, what you been spending right here? I said, look, man, ain't nobody trying to talk about that today. I said, I don't need to tell you about it. But let me tell you something. Thank God that man was patient with us. Thank God he didn't drop me as a client. Thank God that he hung in there with me. Because when we came out of the Bobby and Angela Huck's program, our whole life had changed. And we understood. And listen, Miss Angela Hucks, y'all look up one more time. She's on my Facebook page.
Is she local in Goldsboro?
She's local in Goldsboro. She does financial literacy. She teaches budgeting. She sells life insurance and health insurance. But she made us write down our goal the first night we sat down with her. And man, she brought our goal to us about 3 months ago. She said, I wanted to drop this off to y'all. She said, when y'all first sat down with me, you told me that you wanted to buy your own home. You told us that you wanted to start flipping houses. And you told us this, and you told us this, and you told us this. And everything that we put down on that sheet of paper, we had accomplished it.
And how long ago was this?
This was 2 years ago, about 2.5 years ago.
Wow.
It don't take long.
It don't take long.
You don't have to be great to get started, but you have to get started to become great. The words of Les Brown.
You be dropping him.
You got to get started somewhere. You can't keep procrastinating. If you want to step out, and listen, I'm not one of those people who tell business owners you ever heard these people that try to put people down because they work a 9 to 5? You can work a 9 to 5 and still own a business. I'm not one of those kind of people who tell people to come off their job and own your own business, but if you understand how things work, it don't take long. It don't take long.
And you mentioned this a couple of times. I know it's a word, and I might be getting into your financial expertise where you charge people, but you mentioned this word a lot of times, leverage. If without, I guess, what is exactly, it sounds good now. You hear it all the time, leverage. You leverage in mechanics. You need something, to lever it up. So explain what leverage is, like leveraging money.
Ricky, hold on, Ricky, hold on. I don't know what happened. I apologize.
He turned the camera off on that. He said, I charge people.
Pop up on my screen. My bad. Okay, I'll give you an example of leverage.
Yeah, give an examples of leverage.
Okay. Let's deal with asset-based lending. Asset-based lending is one of the banks. It's really private money. I know you heard of hard money. Hard money is basically where private investors lend you money to do flips or buy a property, and you feed them their money back once you sell the property.
And you get normally those investors through that bank.
Right. Okay. Now that's called leveraging. I'm gonna give you an example. Okay, let's say if I found a property for $50,000. Okay, I found a property for $50,000, and they'll require me to put 10% down, which is about $5,000. Mm-hmm. So I owe them $45,000, right? Now, and let's say that it's going to cost me about $30,000 to fix up this property. Now I'm $75,000 in. Yeah. All right, but your appraisal guy came by, and the comps for that area, comps basically mean what the last house sold for in that area, or what the houses sold for in the surrounding area. Mm-hmm. And the house sold for $100,000. The last house sold for $175,000.
Okay.
So
I owe $100,000 if everything works out right.
Yes, sir. There you go. So what I did, I just leveraged that bank's money. They're going to cover 100% of the rehab, okay, which is $30,000. I owe them $45,000. I put the house in the market. The house sells for $75,000, $175,000. I feed them back their $75,000, and I walk away from the deal with $100,000. Well, a little bit less than that. Once you pay the attorney fees, Once you pay the real estate agent their commissions, you walk away with a little less than that, but still you're walking away with a beautiful profit.
But with the only way that they're going to allow you to do that is with good credit, whether it's business credit or personal credit.
Hey, your life insurance, your car insurance policies, they all going to peep into your personal credit. That's why I tell people it's a tool. Just that simple, just something as simple as credit can keep you from becoming a homeowner or that car. And listen, I've taken bruises and hits on my credit. Even since I've been repairing credit, I've had some bruises and hits, but I know how to go and fix it. And but it's just a very important tool. Is first base, y'all. First base is your credit. It's so important to have good credit. It's so important but not just having good credit, but understanding how credit can work for you. You walk around with a 580 score or 620 score because you're maxing out all your credit cards and you making people, you're not, things of that nature. You're hurting yourself from doing things. My light just went out, so it's a little dark now. But
you fine.
I give you an example. I had a client come in my office and walk out of my office with $34,000 in about 15 minutes. Okay, I'm gonna tell you how. This young lady went through my credit repair program. Her score got to about a 700. And what happened was I applied, because what I do, once I get negative stuff removed from off your credit, I replace it with new credit. So what happened was I got a credit card with a $10,000 limit, 0% interest for 15 months. Now she don't have to use that card, but it's good to have it because I teach leverage. Then I got her another line of credit through Navy Federal for $24,000. So within 15 minutes, she walked out of my office with $34,000 in somebody else's money. Now, people from the old school say, that credit card mess will get you in trouble. It'll get you in trouble if you don't know what to do with it. So that's what I mean by leveraging.
So she could have actually, with that $24,000 line of credit, she could have went and, like I said, put $10,000 down on the property.
Absolutely. She could have took that and put it down on the property, or she could have found a lot. She could have found a lot for $5,000. She could have found a lot for $10,000. She could have paid for that lot and then made the minimum made the minimum payment on that card. So there's several ways to leverage credit. Like I tell people, this is you right here. This right over here, I'm going to go back this way. This is the bridge. And then over here is your goal. Credit is the bridge to get you to your goal. Yeah.
So and so is having too much credit a bad thing? And I'll be honest, because I'm in the program, so I know. And actually, you probably gonna be mad. I didn't tell you this, but when you got me one card, I think you then got me another card, right? So I was making the payment. Look, you laughing, right? So in my mind, because I've been traveling, doing some other stuff, and so in my mind, I said, okay, well, this is the good, because I kept seeing my score rise. I said, okay, but then I started getting other letters for other cards.
Absolutely.
Now I got other cards, but I'm still using the same 10%. Look, you laugh. So I was like, okay, well, if one card will get it up, when 2 cards or 3 cards or 4 cards or 5 cards, but I'm still using that same 10 to 20%, and make. So is that a bad thing? Because somebody actually told me, is that a bad thing?
Absolutely not. Let me tell you why I say that. Hold on one second. I'm gonna see, can I cut this light back on?
Yeah, I got you.
It's totally. It looked like midnight just then. All right. Having too much credit is not bad. Matter of fact, I know people who have credit cards up to over $150,000 in credit card limits, because I show people how to take their credit and make money with it, their credit cards. You can add somebody onto your credit card as an AU, authorized user. Now, I have clients that I've trained how to. They won't tell you that, though. They act like they had all the information before they met me. But I have clients that I've trained how to take their credit card with that $20,000 limit or $25,000 limit and add people, which is totally legal. It is not illegal. and add people on to their credit card, and they get a 60-point increase in their score.
Within
So
how?
I've shown people how to make thousands of dollars. So it's never a such thing as too much credit. Now, what gets us in trouble is when we use too much of our credit cards and we can't pay the balances off, and our utilization is 60%, 70%, 80%. What happens that limits our ability to get new credit.
Now
But
explain utilization to the layman.
utilization means used. And basically what happens is with credit cards, what happened in your score is made up of a pie. The first pie being payments. That counts for 35% of your credit.
Okay.
30% of your credit is utilization. That's why it affects us so hard. What happens is, let's say if you got a $300 limit on your card, 30% of $300 is $90. Is my math right? Okay. Yeah. So when you go over, that right, Ricky?
Yeah, that's right.
Okay. So what happens is when you go over the 30% threshold, your score begins to drop because according to the algorithms or the way they read it over at Equifax, Experian, and TransUnion, because that's all it is a bunch of algorithms. Okay. It's computer stuff that reads how your credit profile is. It's making it seem like you're cash poor and you're living off your credit.
Okay.
So that's why people call me, I'm in your program and my score went down 45 points. I said, well, you got a $300 limit and you sitting on 270. You're using about 90% of your credit utilization. Okay. You need to pay that card down to under $90 and your score is going to jump right back up. So what happens is,
go ahead. Go ahead.
Yeah. So what happens is they'll pay it down, and credit cards, they report every single month. Once they pay it down and reports the next time, they say, oh, my score went back up. So utilization is a powerful thing. Yeah, I've seen people, and then like I tell people, don't forget about your payment. And I've had this to happen to me. 1 30-day late can drop your credit score 65 points. That's why I tell people, communicate with your creditor so you don't get that 30-day late, because that 1 30-day late will drop your score. And it can take a while for it to recover.
You mean 30 days late as in, not just 1 day after the bill is due, but 30 days after the bill.
Yeah, let's say if the bill is due on the 25th, and then you don't pay it, and then the 25th of next month come in, you 30 days late. So what happened is a 30-day late will pop up on your credit profile. And once that 30-day late hit, your score is going to take a hit.
Okay. And what about a day late? A day late. Say you just forget, like, oh man, my credit card was due yesterday.
Now, here's what we can do. Here's what they'll tell you. They say, well, you can put it on automatic draft. Now, let me tell you what happened to me one time. This is the honest truth. I had a TJ Maxx card, and I forgot to make my payment. I didn't have it on automatic draft, and I was sitting at the house. I'm kind of one of them kind of people. I watch my credit, and my phone went off on Credit Karma and said I had a 45-point drop. I went crazy. And I looked up there, and it was TJ Maxx. So what I did is I got on the phone with TJ Maxx, and I called the credit department and told them it was an oversight and that I had never been 30 days late. And the lady told me she couldn't help me. I hung up on her. I called back again, talked to another lady, told her it was an oversight. She said she couldn't help me. Hung up on her. I called back again, told the lady it was an oversight, talked to the next person. She said, oh, that happens all the time. What I can do is put in a request to have that 30-day late removed. 3 days later, I got a ding, and that 30-day late was removed from off my credit profile.
Now, did your score go immediately up?
Went right back up.
The next.
It went right back up. Yeah.
So you also mentioned something about DUNS numbers. That's business, right? That's business.
Yeah. Like as a business owner, you have your EIN number, which is your electronic identification number. That's how they read you with the IRS. That's how they keep up with your taxes, and that's how we do business transactions through our EIN. Now, your Duns and Bradstreet it's a small piece nowadays, but they're just like on the personal credit side. You have Equifax, Experian, and TransUnion. Excuse me. On the business side, you have Duns and Bradstreet, Equifax Business, and Experian and Telescore. Okay. And basically what happens is they're credit reporting bureaus, just like they're on the personal side. And basically what they do is they report how you pay your bills. So if you get a gas card under your company name, which most people don't because they don't understand the process of business credit, they normally get a gas card or they get things done with a PG. You know, a PG means a personal guarantee. A personal
Okay.
guarantee means you use your social, so it pops up on your personal credit. What I teach people how to do in business credit is to avoid using your social and use your EIN instead of your
Okay.
SSN.
Okay. And that builds your business credit.
That builds your business credit. Nowadays you talk to everybody, you talk to people, they go watch a YouTube video and they say, I go get a Quill, a Uline, and a Granger account. I'm building my business credit. Yeah, 3 years ago. Because Quill doesn't even report to the credit bureaus anymore. So, it's a strategic way that you build it. Business credit is built on payment experience, which are normally net 30 accounts that is set up. What my program does, I show clients how to get 10 credit lines in their business name that does not report to their personal name in their business. Show them how to get Apple, Lowe's, Home Depot, gas cards with $10,000, $8,000, $500, $9,000 limits. I have a client right now in Atlanta, and she loved me to talk about her. Her name is Coco. She owns a Coco Studio. She's worked with Michael Jackson. She's worked with Gucci Man. She's worked with every entertainer down in Atlanta. She's one of my model clients. I built business credit for her on 2 companies, and within the 3-month time period, I built about $70,000 in business credit for her business. We got Apple, we got gas cars, fuel fleet cars, and things of that nature. And basically, with business credit, you have to think like a business. You said the way business credit is used, instead of going to a store, Family Dollar or these regular stores to buy items, you use your net 30 accounts to buy the items that you need for your business. You just changing the way you think. And what happens is once you get those items for your business, you have 30 days to pay them back. And then you pay them back. Every time you make a payment, have a payment experience, your score goes up. Business credit is credit on steroids, meaning that they know it takes more money to run a business, so they give you bigger credit limits.
Okay. And is that what you talk about business funding?
Now, business credit and business funding is different.
Okay, so because that was something that was on my mind. So what is the difference? What is business credit?
The difference between business credit is basically where you're building your business's credibility, and also it gives you the ability to get accounts with different companies, and they see your payment history, and so they're willing to extend credit. Okay, now business funding is, I'll give you an example.
Okay.
All right. I had a gentleman come in my office. He was depressed. He was down and out. This was during the height of the pandemic.
Okay.
And I know how it is to be depressed as a business owner, because you got a family to feed, you got bills you got to pay, and you're trying to figure things out. And he came in my office that day. He was like, "Man, I'm in a bad situation. I can't pay my bills." And he had a business where it required people to get into little balls and roll around, the kids.
Oh yeah, one of those. Okay.
But he couldn't do it because of COVID.
Yeah.
Kids can't, because a lot of the pandemic was going on. And I was like, "Well, man, I wish I could help you, man." He said, "I just left the bank. The bank wouldn't give me any money." And the reason why people can't get money from a bank is because they don't know how to go in there and get it most of the time.
Without a gun.
There's rules to getting money from banks, and there's things that needs to be in place in order to get it. Mm-hmm. So what happened was, I said, he got ready to leave. I said, "I got a question for you. What's your credit score?" He turned around and looked at me. He said, 800. I said, "Sit down." I said, "Sit down." I said, "I need your LLC information, your EIN information. I need your all your information." He said, "I got it in the car." I said, "Go get it." I did one application for that gentleman, and he got approved for a $40,000 line of credit in about 4 minutes because of that powerful credit score that he had. So it blew his mind.
That personal core, that personal score actually reflects on your business score. Like when I guess you.
Okay, this is how it works. Now, if I go out and get a corporate credit card with a $40,000 limit from Chase. Let's just use Chase for an example. Because it's a business corporate credit card, it does not report on my personal credit. Okay, it reports to my business credit. Now, let me tell you when it will report on your personal credit. I have a client that's going through this right now. The only time that it will report on your personal credit is if you go into default status.
Okay.
Is if you get a 30-day late, a 60-day late, or a 90-day late, or 120-day late. Normally, when you get 180, they're ready to shut the account off and charge it off. Now, that's why I tell people the importance of separating your personal credit from your business credit. And so when you understand how it works, you can align yourself and separate your business credit from your personal credit. I've seen a lot of people destroy their personal credit as a business owner trying to build their business. And guess what? I was one of them.
Okay. So let me ask you, but the question was, without that good personal credit score, he wouldn't have able to got that $40,000 for his business.
Yeah. Because here's what they're going to do. Even though it don't report to the personal credit, they're going to peep at it. Okay. They're going to see, okay, is this person lendable? Because basically a credit report is just how you pay your bills.
Yeah. But I'm saying, like, basically, so that guy, he had no business credit before.
He had no business credit. Now, listen, if you got the right personal credit score, we can get straight to the funding. We can skip over business credit.
Oh, yeah?
Absolutely. Oh. We can get straight to the bag.
Oh, so that wasn't a business loan. That was a personal loan that you got.
No, it was done in his business name through his LLC. And because he had a high personal credit score, and when they peeped at it and saw how high it was, they extended credit to his business based upon his high credit score.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay.
And man, he was so happy. You know, I'm a broker too. I'm a licensed broker with the state of North Carolina, so I charge a brokerage fee anytime I get anybody funding. So you know, he was happy and I was happy too.
So that's what is that? Lender brokerage? Is that
now I'm not an MLO, like a mortgage loan originator, not that kind of broker.
Okay.
There's a broker that you can you can register with the Secretary of State of North Carolina, where you heard about when the PPP was coming out. How people would get doing people applications and get them PPP money, and they were saying go to this person, go to that person, and they were getting the SBA loans and all that. Those people, they weren't brokers. They just were going through the application process for the people, and they were charging people money.
They knew what
as a licensed broker.
They knew what the people wanted though, as far as the money. They knew what the people wanted.
In some cases, yeah, because a lot of falsification had went on. But what I am is like I can do that. I have the ability to do that as a loan broker, helping people get capital for their business because I'm licensed with the state of North Carolina. You have to be licensed and you have to be bonded.
Okay. So, and you mentioned multiple LLCs. I think you said, you said your daughter's on all of your LLCs. Now, I mean, I guess just starting out, is that a good thing for people to do, or what is the purpose of having multiple businesses?
Well, I like to separate my businesses. Some people they do holding companies where they got one company that's the parent company over all the companies. I just basically like to separate mine for tax purposes. Now, another thing too, you don't have to always do an LLC. You can do an S corp. I tell people that when it comes to that, talk to your accountant.
Okay.
And business owners, it's all about your accountant. If you don't have a good accountant, you're in trouble. My accountant got my taxes looking like, you got to have the type of accountant. If you got the right credit score, you can go do about whatever you want to do. But I will tell you this here. Being an S corp is powerful because what an S corp does, it helps with the self-employment taxes. When you're an LLC, you have to pay self-employment tax, which makes your tax the amount of tax you pay back higher. Okay. Being an S corp, it eliminates the self-employment taxes. So I filed as an S corp. But I got that information from my accountant.
Okay. And my mother, she said it's all about the accountant, Master Tax Accounting Service, if anybody
needs. Yes, indeed. Yes,
because
indeed.
She always talks about how important is it, because she always talks about, a lot of what clients bringing in just stuff all out of order.
That's right.
See here, numbers here, everything mixed up. Did you go through that? I mean, I assume you went through that early on. But how hard is it to keep, the records?
Let me say, can I tell you this here?
Yes,
and your
sir.
mother can attest to this. People, I remember I went to the bank. I had a 590 credit score, and I went in with my tax returns. And I told the guy I needed 50 grand. And the guy looked at my paperwork and said, I'll be right back. He went out of the office to laugh at me. Now, your mother can attest to this. Most business owners don't like to show that they're making any profit because they don't want to pay no taxes. If you go to a bank and you showing that you're not making any money, you're not going to get any money. Okay. How you going to go to a bank and apply for a $100,000 loan and you only made $16,000? Okay. You made $100,000, but after all your expenses, you only made $16,000. Just so you don't have to pay taxes. So I think being honest about your taxes, being honest about your account, and showing profitability. It's going to be very hard as a business owner for you to get capital if you're in the red. So you want to show profitability. You want to show that you're making profit so you can get funding. Okay. I can't tell you. Listen, I tell people, I said, well, this all the money you made. Well, that ain't all the money that I made, but ain't all you want to pay all them taxes, man. Yeah. And I tell them, I say, hey, if you get the right accountant, you can pay your taxes quarterly. Well, you don't have to pay your taxes all at one time. So it's all about having the accountant that's smarter than you. Okay. Yep.
So man, that's a lot of information, man. Patul Jones says, when are you gonna write the book on business credit and real estate?
I got an ebook that's coming out.
Okay.
On personal credit. It's called it's the ebook. It's the secrets they don't want you to know about fixing your own credit. So it's going to be an ebook showing people how to fix their own credit. If you from Goldsboro, you don't want to come to me, just get the ebook.
Yeah, that's what I was about to say. That's gonna reduce your clientele if everybody,
here's the thing about it. There are still people who say, I get a lot of people come to me and say, Jomo, I used to fix credit. I got guys that say, hey, Jomo, I used to fix credit, but I ain't got time right now. So I'm going to give this client to you. There's some people say, Jomo, I'd rather do it because it's professional. I can get it done, and I ain't got to be stressing myself out about it. So there's going to always be people that's going to be out here seeking professional help versus the DIY people. Do it yourself.
Oh, okay. Okay. Yeah.
But it's it can be done. You can, and everything on YouTube ain't true. All this 30-day credit repair stuff. People saying they can clean your credit up in 3 days. It's a lot of scamming going on out here. I try to give people realistic timelines. I tell people, man, look, 6 to 8 months. If your credit, if it's really bad, it could be a year. But you're going to see some results within the first 90 days. There's going to be a score change. We're going to be realistic. We're going to have a real plan of action, and we're going to stick together, and we're going to see you through. But that's what we try. We try to be realistic.
Yeah, definitely.
How about that light went out again? I hope you can see
it. You told me, you told me, look, man, it's gonna take some time, but and I do it. I didn't pay nobody. I won't be. If you gave me something, I won't pay you. But that was the mentality that I had, before.
And Ricky, look what happened though. Look what happened, man. I remember one time we got like a ton of deletions on one round. Yeah. And so like I tell everybody, you have to trust the process. You didn't get in it overnight. You're not going to get out of it overnight.
Definitely.
And that's that's that microwave mentality that we have, So you have to trust the process. And once you trust the process, you appreciate the process. And once you appreciate the process, you won't get back in that situation again.
Yeah, definitely, man. And once again, I just thank God for you because, once again, you gave me a inspiration on, just seeing what could be done in a short amount of time on my own credit. But just literally when you just said, okay, y'all wrote those goals now 2.5 years ago, and you come back and you accomplish those goals. So that's once again. That's
well, listen, we thank God for guys like you, Ricky, what you're doing, your podcast, man, how you, all these people that you're introducing to your audience and giving them exposure, and that we're able to share information, that we're able to reach people. and everything like that, because that's really what our gifts and our talents are for. They're to make other people, that we're to pour into other people's lives. And you know, at the end of the day, that's all that really matters to me. Lord, use me and use me up. You
Yes.
know, I wanna leave here empty.
Okay.
Using all my gifts and all my talents. Lord, teach me to number my days. Recognizing, taking every day. I take life so serious now. Recognize that the next 5 minutes is not promised to any of us. And so, and I say that, man, almost holding back tears, man. That we have to value. That's what's wrong with a lot of our young generation. They don't value life. That's why they're so quick to kill somebody. But when you understand the value of life and that we're at the mercy of God, it makes you appreciate things a whole lot more, and it makes you really slow down and appreciate time and spend time with your family and take up time with your kids, and recognize the things that are most important.
Yeah, definitely. Brother Dwight Morris, he said people should be lined up at your door. Well, and that's true though. You know, there's a lot of times it took me a while even to say, okay, yeah, I need help. You know, a
Yeah,
lot of people don't want to admit that. Okay, look, I done messed up. You know what I
yeah,
mean? And I never thought, I was like, forget it. I just buy everything cash. You know what I'm saying? Whatever.
yeah,
You know. So then I was like, nah, man. If I really want to do some of the things I need to do, I'm gonna have to show people that, hey, I know how to pay, or you know, I
yeah.
can repay, you know, these debts that I've created. So it's definitely it was definitely one of the best things that happened to me in the last 2 years.
Yeah, I will tell brother. He said they should be lined up at the door. I will tell you, we have been very, very blessed. We have had. I don't do much advertising. You know, I post stuff here and there to show people, you know, the things like that. And I think also people need to see it in your personal life. Like I saw somebody saying they're a business coach and they ain't even had no business. You know, how you a business coach and you ain't had no business? Or how
Yeah.
can you teach leadership and you don't understand credit or you don't understand finances? You know, we, like I say, there's been times, and even in me doing things that I've had some tough times. I've had my credit score drop and I had to get it back up. I've had things happen to me because when you deal in real estate, if you know you it's a lot of bumps in the road. So my wife and I experienced some bumps in the road when we first got started. We paid 2 or 3 contractors on one house and different things like that. We've lost a lot of money, but I think that people should see certain fruit in your life if you're teaching this business stuff. I think that you should have some type of track record where they can see your success or they can see that you have results as a business leader and as a business consultant.
Do you think that finance should be taught in the church? You know.
I think the church would actually be a better, could do more if they understood the power of finances. They can get more accomplished. You have churches, they take up 2 or 3 offerings, some of them trying to raise money. But if you had a church who had a team of people that taught credit, you had a team of people that bought the business owners in and told them the importance of marketing, how to expand their businesses, how to grow their businesses, holding them accountable. If your people in your church begin to prosper, then that means that you're going to get more tithes, you're going to get more offering, and the ministry is going to have more money to be more effective. So I think it's very important that we teach financial literacy in the church, breaking things down and showing families how to work together, showing families how to budget, showing families how to plan, money management. All that should be taught in the house of the Lord.
Definitely.
Yeah, it's definitely, and I think it's avoided because I don't know why money is such a stick. But I think one is pride. People don't want you to know where they really at.
What you
And
mean by
I'm
that?
gonna tell you how I gauge that. Let's say you talked to somebody 3 years ago, and they said, "God gave me my vision. God told me, the Lord, I want to do locations. I want to open up this location. I want to do this." And you check them out 4 years later, and they haven't accomplished any of that, and they're still at the same. They're still in the same place. But I think it's pride. I think people don't want you to know exactly where they are. That's why you have to have people in your life that you can be transparent with, that you can be honest with. You can't tell everybody your business. We understand that. But I think that's why it's so important that we can have people that we can lean on, that we can trust and be transparent with, to let them. Thank God I have people I can call and cry. At the drop of a hat, they pick up the phone. I say, "Hey, how you doing, man?" you know, I'm telling you, you're never gonna be as great as the people that you have around you. You know,
Okay.
and so that's the most important thing. Having, like I said, that transparency. I think it should be taught in the church. The church will be better. It'll be stronger. You can get 4 or 5 people together in the church, do a real estate deal. Let's go buy this land. Let's do this.
Yeah.
And things of that nature.
This might be above, like, can churches do that? No, because the church is a nonprofit organization. So can the church entity, start, buying properties and, acquiring wealth like that? If
Yeah, they can. There's certain things. I'm pretty sure Miss Perkins too. She pretty heavy with this nonprofit stuff. And
Okay.
also Mount Carolyn Jones, Mount
Uh,
Carol Marrow, Mount Carolyn.
yeah.
But
Can.
they can tell you more about the nonprofit side. But definitely, you can acquire property on the nonprofit. You can get funding. It's just certain ways and things that has to be done. It's in accordance to in accordance in the right way.
So what you mentioned nonprofit? Have you thought about any nonprofit organizations
I'm
or?
actually getting a nonprofit put together right now. I'm doing an economic development nonprofit where I go into the communities and I teach at-risk kids about credit. I teach at-risk kids about finances. Also, I want to do something this summer where I get maybe a hot dog stand and show kids money management, how to run their own business, and things like that, because they're the future. And we don't want them to go through what we go through. So having that opportunity at their fingertips lets them know that they can go further than what their peers are going or their friends are going. And so definitely gonna be doing that. And then with that nonprofit, be doing homeowner workshops, showing people step by step how to go become a homeowner, what home ownership is all about. And so that's what we're gonna be definitely working on towards the summer this year.
Man, that's awesome, man. That's awesome to be able to give back, and sometimes giving back is not always in monetary form. It's
That's
just
right.
knowledge.
Listen, sometimes we pray and say, Lord, I need more money. Then God will send you somebody with some wisdom.
And you use that wisdom.
Because really and truly, it's not that you need more money. You just need to live within your means and manage what you got. I remember, man, one time a word came to me. How'd it go? The way you manage your income will determine your outcome.
Boy.
So it's all about managing. I didn't understand managing, man. I mean, man, and then when you start making money, before you start making money, you can think about all the ways you can spend it. But when you really start making it, you be like, I ain't buying that.
Yeah.
I ain't thinking about buying that.
Nothing.
Yeah.
Because
it makes you appreciate the tool of what it is, how money works, and appreciate how it spends, and lets you know how fast it can slip out of your hands too. The Bible said, "The fool and his money will soon depart."
Yeah, is that in the Bible though? Because I always hear that a lot. Well, you know, uh, I don't know, like, but people say, well, cleanliness is next to God. The Bible said cleanliness is next to God.
Yeah.
That ain't the Bible, but I think it is. I don't know if it's no.
Yeah.
I heard somebody say, what the Bible said.
The word do say a fool and his money will soon depart, meaning that money gonna go one way, he going the other. Because if you don't, foolishness just mean ignorance. And so, where there's ignorance, there's a lot of room for error and terror. So that's how that works.
Yeah, man. So, and I'm gonna ask our listening audience, our Facebook audience, if any of you guys have a question for our guest.
I hope I did all right, y'all. I hope I didn't talk too much. I know I talk a lot. I get going.
Yeah, definitely.
I was sleepy before we got started.
Yeah, I was too, man. You done woke me up there. Morris said, "Keep it 100." As Black people, we don't talk about finances. That's great. I guess he's talking about the nonprofit. So many people commented it, and it's Casey, good convo, our classmate, Keisha, Angela Solomon Hucks.
Yes, my lady.
I met, yeah. Okay, I met her
Did you
one
meet
day.
her at the office one day?
Huh?
Did you meet her up at the office one day?
No, I met. You told me about her, and I was going to
Okay.
Staples to pick up some business cards,
Okay.
and for some reason, I either handed her a business card or we exchanged cards or
Mm-hmm.
something, and it was her. And so,
Wow.
and she told me, she said, well, yeah, what do you, she asked me some questions I really couldn't answer. I was like, wow, it had me thinking, what I'm saying? I was like, well, I'm
Man, her and her husband are jewels right here in the city. I have several friends that have went through her program and their entire life changed. There's some powerful people. They're not flashy.
yeah,
People, all this stuff that people saying, if you got wealth, you got to show it in order for people to listen to you. That's you want to show, you want to have a track record, but they're not those type of people. And they're going to make it plain. They're going to break it down to you. They're going to let you know the ins and the outs. But I guarantee you, when you come from out of there where they are, you won't be the same.
definitely, man. It's good to have such people.
Yes, it is, opportunity. Information is elevation.
Yes. Yes, so definitely, man. You definitely elevated us tonight, man. I keep you up here all night if you let me. But I
And
think we got
Rick, we have some powerful people in our communities too, that are doing great things. I come across a lot of people that I highly respect when it comes to real estate, and things like that. Goldsboro is full of jewels. Goldsboro have some very powerful people. And when I hear that stuff like ain't nothing in Goldsboro, well, Goldsboro is what you make it. You got some people that move out of Goldsboro, but they took Goldsboro with them. Saying they the same person, they're just in a different city. They have the same mind state. And that's why, but I've been blessed, man, to work with several people in Goldsboro and seeing people lives change, people become homeowners. We're changing the narrative, man. We got, and especially in minorities, I'm seeing more Black people become homeowners than I ever seen. Just by this information that me along with others that are in the same space are sharing. And like I say, we in the information age. The Bible says in the last days that knowledge shall increase. You just turn on your computer now. I'm a thief of information.
okay.
So we in the age now where if you really want to know something, you can get help. You don't have to be in your situation any longer, but you're gonna have to take a step. You can't procrastinate. And I think another thing that gets people is fear. False evidence appearing real.
Okay.
You got to cast down your fears, your intimidations, and you got to be transparent. And you got to start where you are and be realistic with yourself in order to change your situation.
That's awesome, man. That's awesome. And it's funny you mentioned about Goldsboro and coming back, because actually you started off in Charlotte, right? Did you move away?
Man, I moved. Listen, I don't live in Atlanta. I don't live
Okay.
in Nashville, Tennessee. I lived in Charlotte. I lived in Myrtle Beach. And guess what? I was a dude from Goldsboro in Goldsboro, basically. Because basically what happened, I had the same mentality that I had in that city. And I missed out on a lot of opportunities because of the way that I thought. I got a homeboy, a good friend of mine. He's my brother, as a matter of fact.
Uh-huh.
Sakilo Smotherson. That's my guy. And he used
Okay.
to take me out to different places. I said, I ain't used to this. I'm from Goldsboro. He said, man, don't come around here with that Goldsboro stuff. I ain't got time for that. Don't bring that Goldsboro stuff. And he taught me diversity. He taught
Yeah.
me about other cultures. And
Uh,
man, I learned so much from that guy. And that's why to this day we're like this. We have such a strong bond, and we like brothers. But yeah, man, I ain't gonna never put
that
my hometown.
mentality.
I
Yeah,
ain't gonna
yeah.
put my hometown down, but I'm glad I got to go, because when I got to go, it allowed me to grow. I always tell people, my Uncle James Jr., James Swenson, he always told me, man, hey, go test the waters, go see what's out there. Don't be scared to try something different, but don't
Mhm.
ever put down where you come from.
Definitely.
Everybody needs to just play their part and do what God has put you here to do, and you
Yeah.
won't be putting stuff down
In the
because you'll
city.
be
Yeah.
too busy doing what you do.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Because I love Goldsboro. I moved back in what 2 years ago. It'd be two
Yeah,
years ago in March. And people ask, why you moved back to Goldsboro?
yeah,
Because that's where I'm from, first of all. And I'm like you said, I've experienced different things,
Yeah.
so I know what else is out there. So I know, okay, well, Goldsboro is not all there is, but it's still some value here, some
That's
value
right.
people here. And
That's
so,
right.
I'm not gonna, say, well, I'll never come back to Goldsboro,
Yeah.
But yeah, definitely, I
And I got
love
people that I graduate with, man. I don't care if they hear me. I got people that I graduated with. They hate Goldsboro. They want to come back and see their mom, the dad, their parents.
Yeah.
Because, but I understand you're in a different place. I understand it's bigger. I understand it's moving faster. I understand it's progressive. But think about all these young kids that are behind that you can impart, that you can add value to their life.
Wow.
And that's why I never, understood guys that make it and do things that are big and don't come back and and do things for our city or do things for our young people.
Or
And
not
so
even do things, just be visible. Like, okay,
be visible.
I'm from right here in these projects where you guys are at.
That's right.
And
I remember when I was here. And give their story.
Give that vision, let them see an example. Like, wow, Goldsboro ain't it? You know what I'm saying? I can get out of here, whether it's through the military, whether it's through college, whether it's through trade school, Job Corps, whatever. But yeah, like, some people, I guess, they I hate to use the cliche, forget where they come from, but it's definitely.
Well, maybe guess what? Maybe we'll catch fire, because it starts with me and it starts with you. And when other people see us doing it and other people see us impacting lives, they'll want to jump on board. And as we help these young people out here and tell them our story, what you've been through, what I've been through, and we see their lives changing, others might want to jump on board and come back and do some things as well.
Yeah, man. Definitely, man. Definitely. That's very powerful, man. And once again, I wish you much success, continued success in all that you do. Once again, you can call me if anything that I need, that you may need, to help, if you feel like I can help you with, let me know.
I appreciate it, Ricky, man. I appreciate it. It's always good, not just to talk to you, but always good to see you, man, because you know what our conversations are. They're great conversations, man. We're always talking about how we can do things better. We're always talking about how we can make things better. Them the kind of conversations that I'm into. I ain't into that other crazy talk and all that. Nah, them days are over for me.
Everything is positive. Every time I see this guy, like, so this conversation we have is just like our regular conversations, because I don't see them often, but when we talk, I want to know what's going on. What what you got going on.
And everybody know how Ricky be everywhere. You never know he's gonna be with his books. Man, I ran into him at the Pottery.
Oh, you did?
On the Christmas Eve.
You talking about this Christmas Eve?
When you talking about, man, is that a Sherlin? You remember that, Ricky?
Hey, this Christmas Eve.
I saw you at the Pottery. I think it was like a couple days before Christmas. You was out there promoting and doing what you do, man, and telling people your story and putting your books out there and everything.
Was it? Yeah, because I've been running to a lot of people out there.
Yeah, it's all good. You about like, hey, man, when you talk to so many people and come in contact with so many people, you can't remember everything.
Yeah, I don't. Yeah, because like at the end of the day, I just be like, okay, God, thank you, bless him, go home, lay down, work on some other stuff. But yeah, man, I've been really blessed. But it's people like yourself that puts me into a different arena as well. Like, okay, well, real estate investing, and that's something that I've always wanted to. I was a broker in Virginia Beach for a while.
I remember that.
Years. And I was actually, the middleman. And once again, I love sales. I love meeting people, just like you probably do. So, but that has always been my ultimate goal. Even when I was doing that, I said, no, because I was working with investors, helping them find profit. Yeah, I'm gonna do this.
Yeah, I remember seeing the pictures on Facebook, Rick. You was killing it.
And I never knew. Okay, that daggone. Okay, now I have a mentor in that field, or even just I see it can be done. And you're giving me ways and insight to do that. So everything comes full circle.
That's right.
I just want to thank you for your transparency, man. I see them videos you come in. Okay, this is new property. We about to do this right here.
Yeah.
Knock this wall down. We about to put these new windows right here. These energy efficient windows right here. This railing right here got to come down. We're gonna do all this new. And then 3 or 4 months later, you back. See, look at this right here. You remember this?
Yeah.
You saw the old video with the new. I'm like, yo, this really can be done.
Yeah.
Like,
and I'm gonna say, now I got to credit my wife for that, man. My wife is a visionary, man. She can walk in a room and basically say, we need to do this, we need to do this, we need to do this. I'm gonna go ahead, I gotta be honest with y'all. I've been looking good for a long time, but it's because she been making me look good. You know, and so, man, the way she goes in and look at these properties and you know, and can visualize and stuff like that. So it kind of rubbed off on me. So now when I go on the property, I said, we need to knock that all out right there. We need to add a bathroom over here. It's fun, man. It's a lot of fun, man.
She laughing at. What's up, Sierra? Thank you for joining us, finally. We've been giving you much props all night, so
I got to, because look, you know, it's getting kind of late. I'm buttering up.
About time to wrap it up.
Yes,
definitely,
sir.
Man. It's definitely a pleasure, man. And once again, man, you know,
thank God for you, Ricky, man. And listen, y'all put y'all hearts up. Y'all put y'all likes up for Ricky, man.
Thank you. Appreciate y'all, man.
I'm giving you your applause right now. I ain't gonna wait till later on. I'm doing it right now. I appreciate you, man. Thank you so much for this opportunity. It's been a blessing.
Appreciate y'all. And I thank all my listeners, man, all my regular listeners. Too many names to call, but I see all the comments. So I thank everybody who took their time out tonight to enjoy the show. And y'all look forward to next week. And I don't know the guests yet, but I'm pretty sure it's going to be a very powerful show. But once again, we like to thank Mr. Jones and, you know, much continued success. Thank you, Sierra, for lending them to us. And thank you for the kids for lending us to us. I heard the baby back there crying a little bit.
Yeah.
It's about that time. She's about to stop it, Jomo. I'm gonna let y'all go. So, but I thank y'all, man. Y'all make sure y'all tune us in next week, man. But brother,
no doubt,
man. And we're gonna end this broadcast. But thank y'all so much, bro.
Thank you, man, Ricky, man. Thank you for blessing us tonight, man. Appreciate it, bro.
Definitely, man. Definitely.